periodic table and get a weird thought like, I wonder what that tastes like? It's a bizarre question, I know, but today we're actually going to answer it. What would happen if you decided to eat every single element?
Think of it as the ultimate, and I mean ultimate, chemical feast. It's a journey through everything that makes up, well, everything. Some of these are probably in your kitchen right now. Others, they're the stuff of pure nightmares.
So, buckle up. We're about to go on a wild ride through a hypothetical chemical buffet. We'll see what helps, what hurts, and what brings everything to a very, very sudden stop.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the elements you probably run into all the time. Now, you might think they're all harmless, but there's this golden rule in chemistry, right? And it's super important. The dose makes the poison.
Let's take copper. You've probably seen copper mugs or maybe even cookware. In really tiny amounts, your body actually needs it. It's an essential micronutrient that keeps you healthy. But go just a little bit over that amount and it flips a switch. It becomes a straight-up toxin.
So what's the magic number? It's 10 milligrams. That's it. Cross that tiny little line, and friendly neighborhood copper turns into a real villain, attacking your cells until your body just gives up.
And hey, this isn't just a copper thing. Think about something you use every single day. Table salt. That's sodium and chlorine, right? Together, they're essential for life. But pull them apart? Whoa. Pure sodium literally explodes if it touches water, and your body is mostly water. Chlorine gas, it's famously toxic. And it's not just about having too much. Even not having enough of something, like iodine, can cause real problems, like your hair thinning out. See? It's all about that delicate balance.
All right, let's move on to the next course on our menu. We're talking about the shiny stuff, the precious metals. You'd think munching on a gold bar would be a seriously bad idea, right? Well, chemistry has a little surprise for us here.
So, the key word here is reactivity. Gold, silver, these guys are what chemists call noble metals. Basically, they're chemical snobs. They're super stable and don't like to react with anything. So when they go into your digestive system, your body's like, I got nothing. It can't break them down. It can't absorb them. They just keep on moving.
Yeah, so the only thing that's really getting hurt here is your bank account. You're not going to get gold-plated insides or anything cool like that. You are quite literally just flushing $50 straight down the toilet.
Okay, we've had our fun with the elements that won't kill you, but now we need to get serious. We're moving on to the stuff that gives you absolutely no second chances. These are the fast killers. This is where it's instantly game over.
First up, meet polonium. This element holds the pretty grim title of being maybe the most toxic substance known to humankind. We're talking about a microscopic amount being all it takes.
Eating this stuff is like swallowing a tiny invisible nuclear bomb. The radiation it pumps out is so intense, it actually corrupts the oxygen inside your body. This rogue oxygen then just tears through you, shattering the DNA in every single cell. Your cells, trying to prevent themselves from turning cancerous, do the only thing they can. They commit mass suicide. And that leads to complete, widespread organ failure. It's just brutal.
You want some perspective on just how toxic this is? Okay, 1 single gram of polonium-210 is powerful enough to kill 50 million people. Let that sink in. 50 million. It's almost impossible to even wrap your head around that level of lethal. And believe it or not, polonium isn't the only super killer on the block. There's good old-fashioned arsenic. Its method is just terrifyingly precise. It goes straight for your neurons and strips away their protective coating. It's called the myelin sheath. It's basically like ripping the plastic insulation off all the electrical wires in your brain, causing one catastrophic short circuit.
And that's a perfect lead-in to our next category of poisons, the neurotoxins. These are the elements that don't just wreck your body, they make a beeline for your brain.
Mercury and lead are probably the two most famous villains here. Mercury poisoning brings on this horrible wave of fatigue, depression, headaches, just pure irritability. Lead is even more direct. It just completely wipes out your appetite, you become extremely weak, and eventually, well, you just starve.
Yeah, one source we looked at put it in this really chilling way. They said, if you eat lead, you will never eat anything else again. That's it. It's a one-way trip.
And then you have thallium, which is known as the two-faced poison, and for good reason. It hits you hard and fast at first with, vomiting and all that. But then it settles in for the long haul, launching this slow, agonizing attack on your entire nervous system.
Okay, for our final category, we're looking at the elements that kill you by just throwing your body's internal systems into absolute chaos. They don't have to be some kind of exotic super poison. All they have to do is break one critical piece of the machine.
Take cadmium, for example. It basically makes your lungs fill up with a pus-like fluid until you literally suffocate. Or how about sulfur? Now, it's less lethal, for sure, but it guarantees you a full 24 hours of just blinding headaches and stomach pain. It just goes to show you there are a million different ways to mess up that delicate system we call life. So, after our terrifying tour of the periodic table buffet, what's the big takeaway? Well, it all comes back to that first thing we said, doesn't it? The dose makes the poison. From the copper that might be in your water pipes to the very oxygen you're breathing right now, almost anything can be deadly in the wrong amount. It's all about the quantity.
You know, it really makes you think, right? We're all so worried about these complex ingredients with long names, but the entire world, you, me, everything, is built from these simple, incredibly powerful elements. It definitely puts a whole new spin on your next meal. So the real question is, what's really on your plate?